विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day. And we are in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We finished 4 slokas in the 11th chapter, that is Viswarupa, universal form. Now Arjuna is asking Krishna to show his universal form, Viswarupa. And only in Bhagavad Gita, we are going to understand about Krishna's Viswarupa, universal form actually. From Bhagavad Gita only, we are understanding everything about ourselves. That we are not the body, we are the soul, but we are unfortunately struggling and suffering in this material world with this material body and going through birth, old age, disease and death and struggling and suffering. We cannot solve our problems permanently. There is good news that vaccines are coming out for this COVID-19, so we can solve this problem. Still, we have gone through so much of suffering and struggle, but the problems in this world actually cannot be solved permanently. What we are facing, all our problems, because our problem itself is having this material body. That is our problem. So even if we have a perfectly working body without any diseases, but still when we get old, eventually we will die. Because this body is designed. Right from birth, this body is designed to grow and get old and die. The cells are designed to function like that way only. So there is something called aging. So that aging is actually, it's a design. It's a design by Krishna in this body. We are like as we grow old, and our cells are losing its potential. So basically that's how this is designed. So that way, there is no point in trying to solve the problems in this world, because it is not possible to solve all our problems. Of course, we have to solve the problems, our existential problems we need to solve for sure. But we also need to understand that we cannot exist here forever. That point also we need to know very well. We cannot live here forever. And we cannot hope also to find a solution for this problem in this material world. The only solution for this problem is actually not to come back to this world again. So we know for sure every one of us are going to die. There is no doubt about it. Everyone is going to die. Everyone in this world who have taken birth, everyone is going to die. Everyone died in the past. In the past also, no one has lived here forever. And we are also going to die. But the solution for our problem is not to come back again to this world. That's where the solution lies. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is teaching us how to solve this problem, how to lead a peaceful and blissful life in Krishna's well, in Goloka. So that is the way we need to aim actually. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it is very much possible. By Krishna's mercy, it is very much possible with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we need to aim for such a life with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. By Krishna's mercy, we are getting this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. When we understand this Bhagavad Gita fully, when we follow this Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to go to Krishna's well. So that's why we are getting all this knowledge, and Krishna is teaching us very clearly that this karma yoga, that is acting without expecting results, is very important, because everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature. Even a person who has the knowledge also is actually forced to act. Sadarsam chestate swasyaga prakrite jnanavanapi. Even Jnanavan, a person who has knowledge also, is acting according to his own nature. That's what Sadarsam Chesate Swasyaga Prakrite Jnanavan. So Prakriti Yanti Bhutani Nigraha Kim Karishyati. So all these living entities, everything, they simply have to follow the Prakriti, follow the modes of material nature. So we cannot achieve anything by renouncing our activities. In fact, we cannot renounce our activities. We cannot give up our activities. That is not possible. In this material world, one cannot give up the activities. But we need to learn from Bhagavad Gita how to do those activities for Krishna. So that's what Mayi Sarvani Karmani Sanyasyadhyatma Chetasa. So you surrender all your works unto me. So we know that we cannot give up our activities. We know that we cannot sit idle, we cannot stop working. So that point is very clear for us from this Bhagavad Gita. And we know that nobody can sit idle, nobody can stop doing their work. Everyone is forced to work, everyone has to work. So that is very much true. But since we have to work, but work for Krishna, that is the main thing. So get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and understand very well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and develop that love towards Krishna. And then Mayi Sarvani Karmani Sanyasyadhyatma Chetasa. You surrender all your works unto me. That's what Krishna is saying. Krishna is teaching us. So if you work like that, if you do everything for Krishna, so then we are not going to be bound by the results. Muchyante tepi karma bhi. Muchyante tepi karma bhi. Those who follow my injunctions, those who follow this Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge, those who have faith on this Bhagavad Gita, who are not envious of me, and they are actually liberated from the reactions of their work. Muchyante tepi karma bhi. So the reactions. So we will be liberated. We will be freed from the reactions of our actions. Reactions of our actions. So that's what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita, how to free ourselves from the bondage to work. So that is possible only by doing everything for Krishna. So that techniques we need to understand from Bhagavad Gita. We need to understand from Bhagavad Gita that methods, that procedure, how to surrender everything unto Krishna. How to do everything for Krishna. So that we need to understand from Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, by understanding all the slokas in Bhagavad Gita, by following what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So that way, if we become master of this Bhagavad Gita, if you know all the principles taught by Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita, so then we will learn the art of doing our activities. Yoga karmasu kausalam. Kausalam means the art of performing that yoga. Yoga karmasu kausalam. So that way, if we do like that, then we are ube sukrita duskrite. So both in good or bad results, we will be buddhiyukta jahatiga ube sukrita duskrite. So if we act with intelligence, then we will be freed from all kinds of reactions. That's what buddhiyukta jahatiga ube sukrita duskrite. So sukrita and duskrita, good or bad actions. Krishna is saying that nadate kasyachin papam nachaiva sukrutam. Nachaiva sukrutam vibhu. So papa means sins, and sukruta means good pious activities. So that way Krishna is saying that I am not responsible for anyone's good or bad deeds. So, but we are responsible because we are not able to act with intelligence. If you act with intelligence, buddhi yukto jahatiga ubay sukruta duskrute. So if we are able to act with intelligence, so then we will be freed from the good or bad deeds, results. Nothing is going to bind us. Nothing is going to affect us. So that knowledge we need to have. With the knowledge, we need to gain the intelligence. So we cannot simply blame Krishna for everything. We need to have that knowledge. This knowledge is available. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge is available for everyone. Everyone can study and understand this Bhagavad Gita, like everyone is able to study all other subjects. Like when they are studying, maybe a student studying in this school, maybe math or physics or any other subjects, you are able to study. So like that, this Bhagavad Gita is available. And we need to study and gain this knowledge. That's what is very important. So if this knowledge is there with us, then we will be able to gain the intelligence because we understand how to gain intelligence. So then if we act with that intelligence, if we learn the art of performing our actions, so that's what yogaga karmasu kausalam. So if we act with that intelligence, then we are freed. Then we are freed from all this material bondage. Then we are freed from all our problems in this material world. That way we can find a permanent solution for our problems. That is the way we should find the solution for all our problems. So Bhagavad Gita is the cure. It is the medicine for our disease. That is this body. This body is our disease. Like if we get something in our body, if there is abnormal growth of cells, so what we call it as cancer also. So because they are not in control, so they are just growing abnormally. So we call it as a disease for the body. But having this body which is made up of matter, that itself is a disease for the soul. So we need to cure. We need to cure means we should not have any more bodies. We should not be forced to accept any more body. So that is possible only when we are able to free ourselves from the modes of nature. As long as we are controlled by the three modes of nature, we cannot free ourselves from the body. Because the modes of nature only are binding the soul inside this body. We understand it very clearly. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we should learn how to free ourselves from this body. How to free ourselves from the modes of material nature. So then we will be able to free ourselves from this material body. So much science is taught in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is teaching us very, very clearly. And we know about Ahankara, which we cannot find it out anywhere else. Which book talks about Ahankara, the three modes of material nature, false ego, or intelligence, about the mind. There are volumes and volumes of books are there, journals are there. There are so many books. Now everything, of course, is online. But even if on online also, if you search, there are so many millions and billions of materials are there, study materials, research materials. Just go and search for Ahankara, the word Ahankara. You cannot find it anywhere. Only in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, it is there in the Vedas and Puranas and all such things. But the way we can understand, the way we can study and understand in this human life, because we don't have enough time actually. So we need to prepare for our exam. So when you are preparing for an exam, if you are studying in a school or university semester, the end semester exams are there. And if you are going to prepare for that, so we cannot go and take big books, volumes of books and go through and prepare for it. We need very short thing, everything in one place, one small book, and then we should be able to revise and prepare for it. So like that, our exam is actually death. So if you want to pass in that exam, we need to prepare very nicely. For that, only one book is enough. That is Bhagavad Gita is enough. All the other books, of course, when we have time, we can read, we can relish, we can enjoy. For example, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we can enjoy Krishna's pastimes. But for the knowledge, for writing that exam, to remember Krishna, we need this Bhagavad Gita. We need to understand this knowledge, this 700 slokas, we need to understand. If possible, try to memorize all these slokas. It's not at all it's not at all hard. It's very, very easy actually. Very straightforward. That's how we are understanding Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, how is it possible for us to study and understand Bhagavad Gita? Krishna is teaching us. We are getting this knowledge by Krishna's mercy because it's very easy to understand. So that way, we need to know how many chapters, how many slokas in each chapter, and what questions Arjuna is asking, and what answers Krishna is giving. All such things we need to know. So if we know that, and then step by step follow all the instructions what Krishna says. When Krishna says that whatever you eat, offer it to me, offer it to Krishna. That is the main thing. Of course, out of love. That way we can remember Krishna all the time. That way we don't eat anything ourselves without giving to Krishna. Because Krishna himself is asking already, but even without himself asking also we should give it to him. Because we love him so much, and he is there in our heart as the super soul, and he is there everywhere, and he is helping, and he is the Gati, he is the Bharta, Gatir Bharta, Prabhu Sakshi, Nivasaga, Saranam Sugurtu, Prabhavaga, Pralayaga Sthanam, Nidanam, Bijam, Avyayam. So everything is Krishna. So Krishna is there, and he is the taste in water, Rasogam Apsu Kaunteya, Prabhasmi Sasi Suryo, he is the light from the sun and moon. So like that, Krishna is there in everything, Krishna is everywhere, and that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is already asking us. He is already telling us that you please give me what you eat. You give me what you eat. That's what Krishna is asking. So we should just offer to Krishna whatever we eat. So whatever you do it for me. So always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your obeisances unto me. Do everything for me. That's what Krishna is saying repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita. So that means we should do in our life all the time everything only for Krishna. So our life itself should become like that. Everything should be planned like that. It will become. Krishna's mercy, when we want to serve Krishna, when we want to please Krishna, then it will automatically become like that. Because Krishna is going to help us. That is the main thing. Krishna will help us in many, many ways. Krishna will make sure we will not fail in our efforts. Even materially speaking, we are not going to struggle. We are not going to struggle at all. If we fully depend on Krishna. If you fully depend on Krishna, if you do everything for Krishna, then definitely we will not struggle materially. Materially speaking also, Krishna is saying that we are not going to lose anything. Neha Bikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate. So nothing is going to be reduced from us. We are not going to lose anything. So, but in this endeavor, even a little advancement we make, it protects from the most dangerous type of fear. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is our asset, real asset. So this knowledge is the one, this knowledge is going to help us to realize everything and help us to free us. Actually, this knowledge is going to free us from the three modes of material nature, and it gives us everything what we want. So that way, we are very fortunate that we are studying this Bhagavad Gita every day, and we are understanding. And all these slokas. And it brings us so much happiness also when we study this Bhagavad Gita, every sloka when we study and understand, because Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, because he is directly giving this knowledge. He came directly to this world. He directly gave this knowledge. And we are studying that knowledge exactly how Krishna gave it to Arjuna. So that way, all these slokas which has come from Krishna, which are sung by Krishna, it came from Krishna. So we just have to follow. That's what is very important. We just have to listen to that, understand it and practice it and remember it and do everything for Krishna. That's all going to happen. All such wonders will happen. That's why we are able to study Bhagavad Gita every day. We are able to make progress every day. Now in the 11th chapter, we already finished 4 slokas. We just started and finished 4 slokas. 10th chapter we finished 42 slokas about Krishna's Vibhuti Yoga. 9th chapter we finished 34 slokas. So like that, every chapter we are making great progress and we are understanding everything. And Krishna's mercy, we are recording all these lectures. It's also available. Anytime if you want to understand any sloka, we can go Go to the YouTube channel and understand and listen to that and understand each and every sloka. Because Bhagavad Gita, when we study and when we listen to Bhagavad Gita, when we study Bhagavad Gita, so we are actually it's going to give us so much happiness actually. Because one thing you will notice that it will never be boring at all when we read Bhagavad Gita slokas, when we study Bhagavad Gita slokas, when you understand, you will not feel it is boring at all. Because you are doing it for Krishna, because this knowledge has come from Krishna. So anything which is related to Krishna, it won't be boring. Even when we are serving Krishna, it won't be boring because we are serving Krishna. We are doing for Krishna. Even when Arjuna was fighting for Krishna, Arjuna never felt that it was difficult for him. Before that, it was very difficult for him to fight. He just set his bow and arrows aside and he sat in the chariot. Eva muktva rishikeshu gudakesa parantapa. So, eva muktva arjuna sanki ratopasta upavisat visirjya sasaram chapam soka sammigna manasagam. So Arjuna in the battlefield, he set his bow and arrows aside and he just sat on the chariot and he was fully overwhelmed with grief. Soka sammigna manasam. So that was Arjuna's situation. And once he understood Bhagavad Gita, once he decided to work for Krishna, do everything for Krishna, once he decided to fight for Krishna, then he didn't feel any problem. He didn't feel any issue. He got all the energy. He got all the momentum, motivation, inspiration, everything what he needed, everything he just got it. Just got it by the thinking that he's doing it for Krishna. That's it. If you just think that we are doing it for Krishna, then Krishna will give us all what we want. So that's how our life also should be, like Arjuna's. We should just think that we are doing it for Krishna. Everything we are doing it for Krishna. No, for no one else. We don't have to please anyone else in this way. No need at all. No need to worry about anyone. No need to please anyone. Nothing. We just have to think only all the time about Krishna only. We should try to only please Krishna. That's what is very important. If Krishna is pleased, everyone else is pleased. We need to understand. So just by pleasing Krishna, everyone else is pleased. So that way, Krishna is asking us to control our diet, control our sleep, everything. If we just follow what Krishna says, then we can have a healthy life. So like that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives all the knowledge what we need. So now in the 11th chapter, Arjuna is asking Krishna. In the beginning, Arjuna told Krishna that by whatever the knowledge you gave, all my illusions have gone. So he says that Madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma samjidam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. That's what he said. 1 second. Next, in the next sloka we studied, Arjuna said that Arjuna is asking Krishna to show his universal form. Evam etat yada tattvam atmanam parameshwara drashtumichami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. So I want to see Parameshwara, Purushottama, I want to see your universal form. And in the sloka what we studied yesterday, Arjuna told Krishna that Manyasya yadi tachakhyam maya drashtum iti prabho yogeswara darsayatmanam avyayam. So that's what he said there. So Manyasya yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabho. Then Yogeswara tato me tvam darsayatmanam avyayam. So you show me your universal form. I want to see. So now in the next sloka, the sloka number 5 in the 11th chapter, now Krishna started talking. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Pasya me partha rupani Pasya me partha rupani Satosta sahasra saga Nana vidani divyani Nana varnakriti nicha. In fact, we studied this sloka yesterday. That is the 5th sloka. Now in the 6th sloka we are studying actually. Pasyadityan vasun rudran asvina Pasyadityan vasun rudran asvinau marutastata bahuni adrishta purvani Pasyascharyaani Bharata. Pasyadityan Vasun Rudran Asvinau Marutastata. All such things we already studied in the 10th chapter. That is Adityanam Aham Vishnu. So Vasu also he said Rudranam Sankarastasmi. So Maruta Marichiki Marutastasmi. So like that Krishna said all those things. So Krishna is now repeating here that Pasyadityan Vasun Rudran Asvinau Marutas Tata Bahuni Adrishta Purvani. Many which you have not seen before. That's what Adrishta Purvani. Purvani which you have not seen before. Pasyascharyaani, all the wonderful things. Pasyascharyaani, you see. Pasya means you see. O Bharata, you see. O best of the Bharatas, you see all the wonderful things which you have not seen before, including Adityas and Rudras. So basically, the Adityas are 12 Adityas. They are 12 sons of Aditi, and then Vasus, and then Rudras, and then Asvinaus, and Aswinis, Aswini Kumaras, and then Marutas. So everyone you can see here, and you can see also whatever you have not seen before. So like that, Krishna is saying that. So now in the next few slokas, Arjuna, Krishna is going to continue, and then Arjuna is also going to explain what he is seeing. So that way we are going to understand about Krishna's Viswarupa fully. So by Krishna's costless mercy, we have successfully finished the sloka number 6 actually in the 11th chapter. Hare Krishna. I'll stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.